Hey, this is Lauren with TMF Apparel USA, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about pre-treating your garments. I'm going to use this black shirt as an example, but this will apply to light garments as well, and colors. Now, when I first bought my Free Jet, it came with a Wagner sprayer, much similar to this one right here. This is basically an interior home paint sprayer. That's what it is. And I ended up buying a second one because I had a hard time locating these little cups right here. So I ended up buying a second one, so I had a light and a dark cup that I could swap in and out of it. They're really not that different as far as the sprayers go, but when I bought my Free Jet, it came with a Wagner and instructions on how to use it. I personally have an experience in automotive spray booths and painting, and I painted in the automotive industry for 15 years, so picking up that was a no-brainer. Now, when I bought my second DTG printer, I bought it used, and the gentleman I bought it from had a little hand spray bottle. And needless to say, he has never printed on a dark garment. He had never successfully printed on it. Didn't know what he was doing wrong, and I promise you this, pre-treat is key. So today I'm going to go over to a little bit about how I do it here at TMF Apparel for these garments. Now, there are machines that do them, that you can load it up and it will spray a consistent amount of spray across it. Those look great. I also see a lot of people who have issues with those, so keep that in mind. The end result needs to be the same whether you do it by hand or you use a machine. All right, first thing I did was I found a place here where I don't mind getting some overspray, because you're going to have some overspray when you do this with the Wagner. I also built myself a little jig. Now, I took a cardboard box, I traced it the size of my heat press, which is 16 by 20, and then I cut me out a little rig that holds the shirt kind of at an angle. So when I put my shirt on my little jig here, I know that when I spray within that bounding box, that entire area will be pre-treated. Now, if I'm only printing a design up top, there's no need to pre-treat the entire shirt. But if I'm going to print a full back shirt, I'll usually spray the whole thing. What we're going to want to do is get a nice even coat. So we take our sprayer. I have mine set nozzle pattern up and down. Turn it on. Coat it nice and evenly. Now, all of the other ones are going to tell you, all the other videos are going to show you to do a hatch pattern. Doesn't hurt. Rotate it sideways. And cover it like so. Now, that is step one for the pre-treat. When we zoom in on it here, you can see that all of our fibers are kind of sticking up. And it's definitely damp, definitely wet. You can see where I touched it. So next what I do is I bring the shirt over. I lay it on my press. Now, my press isn't turned on, so don't worry about that. This is just for demonstration. I take a foam roller like so, $4, and I roll it across the shirt where the pre-treat is located. And this just helps kind of press it into the shirt a little bit. Doesn't require a lot of pressure, but you can see that it changed itself already and how it looks. Then I will press this on my press until it's dry. Normally 30 seconds. You can do 2 or 3 passes at 30 seconds. You can do a full pass at 90 seconds. Either of those works fine. If you're doing gray or white, I stress this a lot. You will burn that shirt. If you leave that on there for 90 seconds, you're going to have yourself a nice big yellow stain. So what I like to do is I roll them out. I press them for about 20 seconds, let it air dry a little bit, press it again, let it air dry a little bit, nice and slow, because that pre-treat will stain that shirt if you burn it in there. If you're dealing black shirts, I've yet to really burn a black shirt. You could leave it on there for a hot minute. I think one of them, I just pressed it, walked away, totally forgot it was even in there, left it in there for like 6 minutes, and it was pretty screwed. But for the most part, you're not really going to damage it. Once it's all said and done, you've pressed it and it's dry, now you're ready to print. Now, here at TMF, I've used a few of the different pre-treats. I bought a good bit of FBX 100, as I am an Epson-based printer. This one does say both light and dark garments, and I will say that it does work for both light and dark garments. I have used it on white, gray, red, blue, black. I have had good results with the FBX 100. I've also used the Image Armor dark formula, and I've used the light formula, and I've used the polyester formula. If you are mixing, or if you're printing on something that is a 50-50 mix, I will put dark formula and polyester, mix them together, and shoot that as my pre-treatment. So we kind of get the best of both worlds, and I've had pretty good success with that as well. So a few things that you want to have handy if you're getting started. You're going to need pre-treat. You're going to use a lot of it. I buy it by the gallon for sure. You're going to want yourself a little foam roller. You can buy this at pretty much anywhere. And then you can use either parchment paper sheets or Teflon sheets. One thing that you can note is that Teflon can leave an actual glossy finish to your print. I wouldn't say it's shiny, but it definitely has a sheen to it. Whereas the parchment paper is going to be more of a flat matte finish. Parchment paper you can use, press it a few times before you have to throw it away. Teflon sheet you can use hundreds of times before you need to replace it. The only time I really start replacing them is when they start getting little cracks, kind of like so. Then I end up kind of replacing it because I don't want it to leave a mark on the shirt. When you load that shirt up, it should be nice and flat. Nothing sticking up on it whatsoever. Then you're ready to print. If you end up having little creases in it, your image is also going to have little creases in it. So you do not want that. Now, if you're printing on dark garments and your image is not vibrant or the white ink's not sticking to it very well, pre-treat is key. Now, if you load up a crap load of pre-treat on that shirt, even on a black shirt, you're going to see it. Definitely until you wash it. Keep in mind, when you dry them in a heat press, you press all the moisture out of that shirt, so it's going to look a different color until that moisture is reintroduced into the garment after it's washed. So keep that in mind. So if you have any questions on pre-treat, if people tell you don't pre-treat white shirts, more power to them. I am 100% going to spray something on that shirt because I printed white when I first started. Nice full color design. Wore it. It got a little wet. Before even washing it, maybe 6 hours, I kind of got stuck in the rain. Let me tell you, it faded so fast. Fast and hard. I printed the exact same design on a pre-treated white shirt, and it looks great, 9 months later. No worries on that. So 100% pre-treat is key. If you feel like you are under pre-treating it, you probably are. And if you feel like you're over pre-treating it, leave a comment. Let's have a look. Till next time.